From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Another step forward in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Now at 4:30, we're breaking down the latest on Johnson & Johnson's vaccine and when it could be approved. Plus, the construction of IUPUI erasing much of the history of Indiana Avenue. Working for you, details on how a new scholarship is honoring descendants of those who were displaced. And frigid temperatures are moving into central Indiana. We're breaking down everything you need to know to be prepared and stay safe. Well, thanks for joining us here on this Friday. I'm Lauren Casey. Megan has the day off, but we're joined by Todd Clausen right now with a check of our forecast. As Todd, it was so windy at my house last night as I was putting Archie to bed. I thought, oh my goodness, is our house going to fall down? It was so windy down there.
You know, I woke up a couple times as well with the wind, and then I drove out of my garage, and outside my garage, my garbage can was blown over, so I had to stop, pick up that this morning and try to avoid the ice from all the moisture that refroze in the alleyway. So there's a lot of things going on here this morning. We'll start with the wind, though, and wind gusts still anywhere 25 to 40 miles per hour, so it's very gusty. The wind will come down a bit throughout the course of the day today. It won't be as gusty, but you'll still notice the wind from start to finish. It's going to be a problem for us throughout this Friday. 18 right now in Peru, 27 in Bloomington, 22 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. When you factor in the wind, though, it feels like it's in the single digits from Indy all the way up to Peru, where it feels like 0. 7 is what it feels like in Muncie. Now, the good news is we got rid of all that precipitation. It took a while yesterday, especially in those northern locations, to change over from that snow and sleet combo to rain. Eventually, it got there, and the skies are in the process here of starting to clear out this morning. We'll have some sunshine at times throughout the day today. We'll call it partly sunny, but it's still windy and it's still cold with temperatures, Lauren, that'll struggle to get back to 30 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at your commute this morning. This is I-65 and Edgewood Avenue on the south side. We're looking just south of the 465-65 interchange. You can see traffic in that area is traveling smoothly. We do have ongoing long-term road construction on the southbound side between here and Stop 11 Road. But right now, everything is moving along smoothly in both directions. Of course, we'll keep you updated on your commute throughout the morning. Also this morning, a number of Indiana counties are sending a warning of caution to drivers. The counties you see here on your screen highlighted in yellow have issued travel advisories. That's the lowest level of travel advisory. It means you should use caution if you have to be out and about this morning. At this hour, much of central Indiana is not under any type of advisory yet, but we know things could change throughout the day. If you do have to be out on the roads today or anytime this weekend, you'll want to make sure that your car is weather ready. That means having a safety kit. Some things you should include are a de-icer, you should have a snow brush, ice scraper, jumper cables, a rechargeable battery, good to have in there, a spare tire, car jack, and a shovel and kitty litter to help dig you out if you get stuck. It is 4:33, and let's turn now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. Another vaccine is on its way to being approved, and this one only requires one shot. So Johnson & Johnson has applied for emergency use authorization from the FDA, and the most recent data shows that the one-shot vaccine is about 85% effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths in all areas where it was tested. Johnson & Johnson's chief scientific officer says it's not just about protecting people from the virus as it exists today. It's also about curbing the virus's ability to mutate into new variants.
If we don't get the pandemic under control soon, then variants will start emerging and will continue to emerge, and that will result in more vaccination annually. So it's now the mission to get as quickly as possible the virus under control so that it can't mutate and it can't grow and create new versions.
So if approved, Johnson & Johnson's vaccine will be the third authorized for emergency use in the United States. A group of experts will discuss the data at a meeting later this month. The government has already placed an order for 100 million doses. Johnson & Johnson says it can deliver that amount by June. At 4:34, state health leaders are on a mission to make sure that vaccines are getting to the most vulnerable populations here. And that means addressing the skepticism among many minority populations who are disproportionately affected by the virus. The first priority, making sure that information about testing and the vaccine is available in multiple languages. Now they're trying to build confidence in the shot by recruiting trusted community leaders to help share vaccine information. That includes everyone from medical workers to local celebrities. Organizers will work on creating video testimonials to connect with those who are hesitant about getting the shot.
There's probably no more important public health matter than this. People are dying, and people are disproportionately dying when they're people of color. If nothing changes, population of color will disproportionately not get the shots that they need the most because they're at greatest risk.
So according to Indiana State Department of Health website, only 4% of COVID-19 vaccinations have gone to African-American Hoosiers, who make up almost 10% of Indiana's population. And a reminder for you, right now here in the state of Indiana, long-term care residents, first responders, and healthcare workers are eligible to receive a vaccine, as well as anyone who's 65 and older. You can make an appointment by going to ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211. And this morning, we're learning more about the more than 1,500 COVID-related deaths added to the state's death toll. The additional numbers were added after a year-end audit. Most of the added deaths were from November, December, and January. That means 11,231 have died with COVID since March. Now, to put that in perspective, the number of confirmed COVID-19 deaths is larger than the population of 7 Indiana counties. Covering the State House this morning, lawmakers are pushing to pass a bill that would pay remote workers to move to the state. Anyone making $100,000 or less who relocates to the state could earn up to $5,000 in reimbursement for taxes and moving costs. Those making over $100,000 could get $8,500. The checks would be sent out after you live in the state for 1 whole year. State Representative Martin Carbaugh of Fort Wayne wrote this bill. He says it's a way to take advantage of the increasing numbers of remote workers and to keep the local economy thriving. Also at the State House, a House committee made significant changes to the way Indiana would spend its money from a proposed hike on cigarette taxes. House legislators revised the measure to direct the 40% of the tax revenue to go towards Medicaid reimbursements for healthcare providers. That's a change from the original proposal, which would have deposited a majority of the new revenue into the state's general fund and pension programs. College athletes across the country could soon be getting paid for playing. Senator Chris Murphy of New York has introduced a bill that would guarantee college athletes the right to earn money from endorsements and sponsorship deals. It would also bar the NCAA schools and conferences from imposing those restrictions. The College Athletic Economic Freedom Act is a third piece of legislation related to name, image, and likeness compensation for college athletes. It was introduced in Congress since December. IUPUI's history runs deep in the area of Indiana Avenue, and sadly laying down the foundation for the downtown campus erased much of the footprint of Indy's flagship Black neighborhood. But now there's a new scholarship for students with roots on the avenue. The Through Their Eyes scholarship provides $15,000 to an incoming or current IUPUI student whose family was displaced during the establishment and construction of the campus. Khalila Shabazz is the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. She says this is a great way to honor the past and improve the future.
So I think it's a great way to bring forth, our past to our present, reconciling, in some way the things that, we have done in terms of our community. And so really reestablishing ourselves as supporters of the Black and Indigenous community that thrived in our areas.
The Through Their Eyes scholarship is accepting applications right now. We have more information on how you can apply by going to the WRTV mobile app and online at WRTV.com. The number of breast cancer cases is going up across the globe. Straight ahead, why scientists say the pandemic is impacting these numbers. And scientists have found a new way to treat life-threatening conditions in dogs. We'll have details on this new technology coming up. Todd?
And Lauren, we are trending colder and colder in this forecast. Unfortunately, as you can see, much of the country is dealing with a big chill. Look at Minneapolis, 5 degrees. That's the leading edge of some Arctic air that'll be working its way in for the weekend. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 4:42. Here's a live look right now at your commute. This is I-65 and Edgewood Avenue. We're keeping a close eye on the roads all across central Indiana. No delays right now to slow you down. Out to Washington this morning, House impeachment managers are asking former President Trump to testify in his upcoming Senate impeachment trial, but a former Trump advisor says that's not going to happen. His lawyers wrote a letter to the lead impeachment manager, Congressman Jamie Raskin. In it, they call the request a publicity stunt. A Raskin says he wants to get Trump on record about his conduct surrounding the January 6th riots at the Capitol. He proposed that Mr. Trump give testimony as early as this coming Monday and no later than Thursday of next week. It's unclear if the House will issue a subpoena for Trump. Also in Washington, the House voted overnight to remove newly elected Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia from her committee assignments. Before being elected to office, Greene expressed support for QAnon and various conspiracy theories. She previously claimed a plane did not crash into the Pentagon and that the 2018 Parkland school shooting was fake. Greene spoke on the House floor earlier in the day in an effort to defend herself, retracting some of her previous remarks.
I never said any of these things since I have been elected for Congress. These were words of the past, and these things do not represent me. They do not represent my district, and they do not represent my values.
11 Republican House members voted with Democrats to remove Greene from Education and Labor and Budget committees. She'll remain a member of Congress and have voting privileges. Voting tech companies are filing a big lawsuit over the election fraud claims. Smartmatic USA is suing Fox News, 3 of its hosts, and former Trump lawyers Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. The company says they spread false claims about accusing it of helping to, quote, steal the presidential election. Smartmatic is going after $2.7 billion, making it one of the largest libel suits the country has seen. Meanwhile, Dominion Voting Systems is suing Giuliani and Powell for $1.3 billion over similar claims. Dominion was used in 24 states. Smartmatic was only used in Los Angeles County. The young poet that wowed the nation on Inauguration Day is getting her own Time magazine cover. Amanda Gorman is being featured on the Time magazine edition highlighting Black creators. National Youth Poet Laureate gained worldwide fame for reciting her poem, The Hill We Climb, during the January 20th ceremony. Her issue hits the stands today. And another big blast of winter weather heading for the Midwest. This was the scene out in Illinois on Thursday on the border with Wisconsin. The Windy City is digging out of the snowstorm that hit days ago. Now it's preparing for a big freeze. In Wisconsin, dozens of people are back on solid ground after being rescued from ice floes. The Coast Guard says the victims got stranded in 3 separate areas on Lake Michigan where ice cracks appeared between them and the shoreline Thursday morning. And back here at home, Todd, you'll want to be careful heading out maybe to your car this morning. I'll say when I stepped out of my car here in the parking lot, there was probably once a puddle right below there, and I almost did the splits. Thankfully, I was hanging on to my door handle. It could have been bad, but just be careful. Anywhere that is wet is probably refrozen.
Definitely refrozen as temperatures crashed yesterday after all that precipitation moved out. The roads were in great shape and they had salt on them. They're just fine, but it's those driveways, it's the sidewalks, it's back alleys, and some of those side roads that are going to be slick. There's no precipitation falling from the clouds here this morning. It's all on the ground, so that's what you have to watch out for as you get going on this Friday morning. Outside right now, you can see the clouds have broken apart. Skies are partly cloudy here now, but it is cold and it is windy. 22 degrees is the current temperature. Feels like 9 though, and the wind is sustained at 15 miles per hour. You have some gusts in the 20 to 40 mile per hour range. And these wind gusts, as I set this into motion for you, you notice they'll only decrease a little bit here throughout the course of the day. So we deal with the wind from start to finish, unfortunately, on this Friday. And as I always say, the wind is the ultimate equalizer. 32 in sunshine, not bad. 32 with sunshine and gusty winds. Not the best situation here in the middle of winter for us. 16 in Peru, 18 in Tipton, 27 is the current temperature right now in Bloomington, and we're sitting at 23 over in Richmond, but it feels like the single digits to now below 0 in Peru. -2, and my recollection is correct. That's the first negative wind chill number I have seen so far this winter, at least that I've been with you throughout the week. Kyle may have seen some on the weekend. 7 is what it feels like currently in Muncie. And as far as the wind chills go throughout the day today, it's going to only feel about like 20 degrees during the peak of the afternoon with skies that are going to be partly sunny. So you just need to bundle up. You don't have to really worry about any precipitation as skies are partly cloudy. To the north, there's a few lake effect snow showers hours. But otherwise, we're in decent shape today as far as that goes. Tonight, Friday night, you may have plans. Devour Indy still going on. Other events all across central Indiana. Temperatures will cool off very, very quickly. Then we get to the weekend. Tomorrow's essentially a dry day for us. We'll see the clouds increase as the day goes on. We start off right around 14 degrees. We only get up into the upper 20s by about midday. And then the Arctic air is going to arrive. And as this Arctic air comes in, there's likely going to be a quick little burst of snow that comes in here Saturday evening. This will go through very, very quickly. But it could be pretty intense, and it will have the possibility to put down maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow. Again, most of your Saturday is just completely dry. It's late night into the early morning hours on Sunday. So at that time, most of you are probably off the roads, kind of hunkering down for the night, heading into Sunday morning. I mentioned the Arctic air. You saw the wind chills that we have right now. -2 is the coldest one we have in Peru. Look at the wind chills as we get into Sunday morning. Anywhere from about -5, -6 degrees in Columbus to -26 degrees as you work your way into the Lafayette area. They'll relax a little bit throughout the day on Sunday, but they're still in the negative numbers in most locations. So you definitely need to bundle up. The good news is it doesn't look like we're going to get into the single digits or stay in the Sunday. It's trending a little bit warmer, if you want to call it that. But honestly, between 8, 9 degrees and 12 degrees with gusty winds on Sunday, it's not different. Next chance of some snow after Saturday evening is going to be on Tuesday with a high temperature of 24 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's get a look at traffic this morning. Taking you up to the northwest side, I-65 here. This is near the Hendricks County line, mile marker 127. Now, keep in mind, as we're heading southbound this morning, we have some scheduled road construction at I-865. Supposed to be blocking one lane of traffic, but it looks like everything here is traveling smoothly, and all lanes in this spot are open, so that is good news for your commute. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads all across central Indiana this Friday and keep you updated. In health news this morning, breast cancer is now the most diagnosed cancer in the world. A new report shows 2.3 million new cases were diagnosed last year, making up 11.7% of all cancers. Lung cancer had been the most common cancer for more than 2 decades. It still claims more lives than any other form of cancer. Researchers point out the numbers are based on estimates and don't take into consideration how the COVID pandemic may affect diagnoses. No one knows yet what the impact will be, but scientists believe that it's leading to a delay in a diagnosis and also treatment. Just like humans, man's best friend deals with all sorts of conditions as they age. Well, now scientists in Japan have developed a way to treat those life-threatening conditions. They created stem cells from a dog's blood. These baby cells can grow into a variety of specialized cells, and then they regenerate damaged tissues, reversing the effect of various diseases. Well, a new study reveals how reading could help people suffering from chronic pain. Researchers at the University of Liverpool found that group reading helped people confront the emotional challenges of dealing with chronic pain. Participants in a book club were able to take the material from the books and then relate it to their own lives during periods of reflection. Researchers say that this provided additional benefits to patients who don't get through cognitive behavioral therapy, which is often recommended for people with chronic pain. They say another benefit from group reading was the encouragement from other members of the group. Bitter cold temperatures moving into central Indiana. Just ahead at 5 o'clock, our own Kelsey Anderson shows you what you need to know to prepare your home. Also at 5, it's Super Bowl weekend, and you may be planning to get together with friends or family to watch the big game. The advice from health officials that you can use to keep your celebrations safe. It is 4:51. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So Kellogg's and Little Debbie are teaming up to bring a new mind-blowing cereal. It's a twist on a classic childhood treat. Take a look. This is the Cosmic Brownie Cereal. It features crispy brownie squares with cosmic rainbow pieces, but you'll have to wait a little while to try it. The cereal won't be available until May. This is the second time the two companies have joined forces. Last year they released oatmeal cream pie cereal. So Todd, I've never been a cereal eater, but I do like those cosmic with brownies.
All right.
So,
Yeah, they look good. They
yeah.
look good. I like cereal as well, but I stick to my more traditional cereals like the Honey Nut Cheerios.
Maybe a heart-healthy cereal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I try, not all the time. Sometimes the Captain Crunch or the Frosted Flakes sneak in there. So.
Right.
All right. You may want hot oatmeal the next couple mornings instead of cereal here across the area because it is about to get cold. In fact, I don't know if our temperatures get above freezing here the next 7 days. Today's probably our best opportunity, but even with the wind, it's going to feel much colder than that. As far as precipitation goes, Saturday, some snow showers will be possible late in the day, and then we get that Arctic blast, 12 on Sunday, but wind chills as cold as -25, and then more light snow possible with a quick clipper system that's going to come through on Tuesday. The time now is 4:56. Raphael joins us at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.